Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Power Play. I'm your host, Afreen Khan, and with me is Mr. Expert Prasin Maudgal. On behalf of the entire Sports Kira team, we would like to wish all the viewers a very happy Dashera. Prasin, happy Dashera.
Thanks, Afreen. Same to you, and same to all the viewers who've tuned in. Very important festival and very important matches also today.
Absolutely. So, will we see the first team to qualify today for the
Look,
playoffs?
I
Yeah.
think. Sorry.
For the playoffs, will we see the first team qualifying today?
Yeah, 16 points means one foot in the door and pretty much an assured spot in the playoffs because most of the other teams can make it only 14. But yeah, I mean, RCB and Mumbai Indians have a chance to get to that 16 point mark today. So I think RCB last time they faced CSK, they picked up a 37 run win. Kohli scored 90 runs in that match, and it was complete domination from his men. So CSK again, they are on the back foot. Pretty much they've thrown in the towel. They know that they can't do much from this situation, and they are going to try out all the members of their squad. So I think RCB definitely have a good chance of making the playoffs. They're also going to be playing in green. They are supporting the Go Green initiative, and today will be a change in jersey. Whether that brings a change in fortunes or gives them an additional boost is something we'll need to wait and watch for.
So, for the viewers, just an update. We've got two games coming up today. The first one is between the Royal Challengers Bangalore and the Chennai Super Kings in Dubai, and the second one will be played in Abu Dhabi between Rajasthan Royals and Mumbai Indians. So, Prasin, RCB will be meeting the CSK today with the team. The RCB team will be looking to reserve their playoffs spot, whereas the CSK would want to spoil their party,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Look, I mean, I think it's a clear-cut thing that RCB will want to win this match and assure themselves a place in the playoffs because despite the fact that CSK looking not looking a great side, they have produced pretty good performances. They picked up a 10-wicket win against the Kingsland Punjab. They've picked up other important wins as well. So they're not a side. They're not pushovers for sure. I'm sure they'll be hurting. I mean, given the side, they've made the playoffs in every single season, and MS Dhoni will probably push his boys to give one last hurrah in the last three games that they have, and given their best performance, because I mean, despite the fact that they're out of the playoffs, they'll still want to play for pride. RCB, on the other hand, they are looking fantastic. They're looking a very, very good squad. It looks balanced pretty much. And they will be wanting to register a win, which will take them to 16. And as you mentioned, get them a spot in the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a very interesting match. Obviously, the rivalry is something that excites fans every single season. RCB CSK is a very, very big Southern derby. That is watched very, very widely across the world. So definitely going to be a very interesting contest today.
So in the last match's presentation ceremony, Dhoni gave hint that he might try out some different combinations. So will we see the bench strength coming into play today in CSK's 11?
I think they don't have too much bench strength, in my opinion. The only players who haven't played are K. Asif, Monu Singh, R. Sai Kishore, and Mitchell Santner. The rest of the 18 members in CSK have already played a game with Imran Tahir having played last match against the Mumbai Indians. So it's not like they have too much quality in their bench either. And K. Asif and Monu, they can replace Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur, but I don't think they'll make so much of a change as well because again they do have to play the remaining matches and try to pick up a win how much ever I can. So they will, in my opinion, probably go unchanged unless they really want to try out those players and see what they can bring to the table. But I think RCB have made one change after opting
Yes,
to bat.
Moeen Ali has come in and Udana has been left out for today's game. They are batting first. We're still waiting for the playing 11 of CSK. We'll get to know that in a while. Meanwhile, just wanted to talk. The RCB team seems to be in top gear, present. CSK will need to do something really extraordinary in order to give them a good fight. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt, they have the players to do it at the top of the order. It's just that they haven't clicked because if you see,
True.
Shane Watson, Faf du Plessis, of course, Watson didn't play the game, but Faf du Plessis, MS Dhoni, Jadeja, Sam Curran, they've got Imran Tahir in the bowling. Deepak Chahar has played for India. They've got the players. They haven't, it's not like they're a side who didn't do anything in the auction and they have very, very local players who haven't even played the IPL. They've got performers, a team who are known for their experience, but it's just not clicked for them. And that's been the story of the season. They haven't been able to depend on one single person to give them performances. They haven't had one star performer. Like in the past seasons, we've spoken multiple times about how Raina was playing that role for them, and without him in the side, they've had to make too many changes. They've tried Sam Curran at the top last match with Jagdishan and obviously Rutraj Gaikwad coming in. Sam Curran had to play lower down the order. He still scored a 50, so that is very positive for CSK that they
True.
have him to score. But then again, they've made too many changes. Unfortunately, I think it's just the result of them not being able to pick up wins. And today also they've made two changes. They've dropped
Yeah,
Josh
talking about
Hazelwood.
changes, they have
Yeah.
two changes again. Josh is replaced by Santner, and Monu Singh comes in for Shardul Thakur. So they're doing too much. I feel they're just giving their bench strength of game so that all gets a game at least before the end of the tournament.
I think at the end of the tournament, CSK will be probably the only side which has played all of its players, and every single player has probably played a game. But look, I mean, every team will have a bad season, and this is probably a horrible season in the history of CSK because they've made, as we spoke about earlier, they've made the playoffs in every single season. This season's been very, very sad and very, very different for them. And yeah, they've gotten Santner only because Dubai offers a lot more spin. That's probably why even Moin Ali has come in place of Isuru Udana for that extra spin option. So it's definitely a ploy to bring in more spin. And Mitchell Santner has done well for CSK in the past. But given that RCB will be bowling first, CSK definitely have a task cut out to sort of restrict RCB from going away to a good total.
So quickly, let's get on to the fantasy team.
Um, well, I think we've got an interesting bunch of players.
Hmm.
There's a second match. There's the first match, right? So we've got de Villiers, we've got Ambati Rayudu, Aaron Finch, Virat Kohli, Sam Curran, Ravindra Jadeja, Washington Sundar, Chris Morris, Deepak Chahar, Mohammad Siraj, and Yuzvendra Chahal. Aaron Finch is a very, very interesting choice because look, Aaron Finch has failed so far for RCB. He hasn't produced the starts that he's capable of. We all know how good he is. For Australia, how good he's been at the top of the order, but he's failed. I think today's match, with the amount of chopping and changing that's been there in CSK, there's not a lot of confidence in that bowling unit, and I feel today will be Aaron Finch's match to shine, and he really needs to perform because
Big games
he's
coming up.
coming into the side with that leadership quota as well. So I think he needs to fire. But look, AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli have been cornerstone to RCB's success, and they have to be in your fantasy side because they come in at that crucial number 3 and number 4 position, and they've won matches for the side. Virat Kohli, last time RCB played CSK, scored a 55 ball 90, and he will again be crucial to RCB's chances today. Ambati Rayudu, he did start off the tournament with a half century, but then he was sidelined, and in the last game, we saw that he did come out with intent, so he'll be important at the top with Shane Watson not there when Ambati Rayudu plays in that number 3 position. As for the all-rounders, Sam Curran has been a crucial part of CSK's campaign. He's done well with bat. He's done well with ball. He's probably the only. He's probably one of the only players who's actually been good for CSK in that sense that whenever given the chance, even while opening, he's played with intent, and that's good signs for them. Jadeja has shown glimpses of what he's capable of in the past matches, especially with the bat and on the field. Earlier in the first half of IPL, he dropped a few catches and he wasn't at his absolute best. But off late, he's probably in Dubai. With Dubai producing a little bit of spin, he might have an impact. And obviously, with the bat towards the later end, he has produced a few cameos, so he could be producing some important points. Washington Sundar, look, he has bowled phenomenally well. You can't take it away from him. He's made a very, very big difference in the power play stages for RCB. And Chris Morris's addition, I think that's hands down the biggest reason why RCB are doing so well, because he has really given that impetus at the start and even towards the death. Kohli has been able to rotate his bowlers because of how Chris Morris has been bowling, and these two all-rounders will be very, very crucial to RCB's chances. As for the bowlers, Mohammad Siraj is fresh off that 4 overs, 2 runs, two maidens, 8 runs, 3 wickets against KKR, and he'll be itching to go and perform well against CSK. And of course, Yuzvendra Chahal is leading the wicket charts for RCB with 15 wickets from 10 matches. And of course, every wicket brings you about 25 points. So if he picks up wickets against a rather inconsistent CSK unit, then you're in for points. And Deepak Chahar will be the strike bowler today in the absence of Josh Hazelwood, Ngidi. Shardul Thakur is obviously not there, so he'll be the lead pacer, and he'll need to do a good job up front in the power play with the ball swinging a fair bit. So I think this is a fairly well balanced squad, and De Villiers is captain because look, I mean, if Devdutt Padikkal and Aaron Finch haven't been scoring heavily, and if that trend continues, then obviously De Villiers will probably come and play in 12th or 13th over, and he'll be expected to get a whole lot of runs. And Sam Curran, again, we spoke about how he's been one of the only consistent players in that CSK side, and that's why he's the vice captain of this side. But any players you feel are missing or are
No, no,
added extra?
it's absolutely good. I feel you've just missed out four RCB players again.
Hmm.
It would have been an RCB fantasy team or else.
Look, I mean, you need to pick players who perform, and the players who are performing are in RCB. CSK, obviously, they're languishing at the bottom of the table because none of their players have been consistent. And if you pick performers in your side, you're guaranteed points, and that's probably why we've picked 7 RCB players and just 4 CSK players. But yeah, I mean, of course, you can always take a bunt. Like the other day, we discussed when we picked Jofra Archer as captain and Bumrah as vice captain, that really paid off. So yeah, you make a very valid point, but I just feel with performers in RCB side, that's probably why there are more RCB players.
All right, so score prediction present for the first innings.
Definitely tough to predict the score, but I think given CSK's inconsistencies, we saw how they really, really suffered against the Mumbai Indians, and RCB have done really well with the ball in hand. So I feel anywhere around 160, 170 should be a challenging total, given that they have an extra spinner today in the form of Moeen Ali. So
Hmm.
around 160, 170 should be a challenging total.
And the prediction for the winner.
I mean, going by the squad strength, I think CSK have really given up already. Unfortunate to see that, and two players are playing the first match in the IPL. I'm not too sure if they'll be directly coming in with understanding of the conditions. So CSK are definitely on the back foot, and I think RCB might pick up a win from this game.
All right, coming to the second game, the evening game between the Mumbai Indians and the Rajasthan Royals, we'll have to wait and see whether Rohit Sharma will be back or not. But, anyways, the Mumbai team seems to be so confident. They'll be looking to get those 2 points and confirm their playoff spot.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They're looking like an unstoppable train, barring that one loss against the Kingsland Punjab in their last to last game. That also came in the super over. The second
Super
super over,
over.
even not even the first super over, the second super over. So I mean, look at the way Ishan Kishan played in the last game. 47 balls, 68. First time he was asked to open the batting. CSK batsmen struggled, but it just seemed like Decock and Kishan were batting. Sorry, excuse me. Decock and Kishan were batting on a separate pitch altogether, and that's the strength of the Mumbai Indian squad. They have players who'll step up for them every single time. Quinton Decock is in the form of his life. It seems like he's absolutely unstoppable right now, and so the Mumbai Indians definitely have so many resources, and that is why they can even afford to rest players based on just workload management. And if they didn't have the resources, that's been the case with CSK. They haven't been able to depend on anyone. That's why even their backup players, haven't been able to perform with Jagdishan and Gaikwad not
Hmm.
performing. So Mumbai Indians definitely have that sort of an advantage to rest players and depend on each and every individual to perform on the given day. Royals, on the other hand, they've tried a couple of combinations. They've tried to play Ben Stokes at the top. He hasn't really fired as probably what they might have expected him to. And against the Mumbai Indians, in a must-win situation, I'm not sure if RR will want to experiment any further. They might
Hmm.
just play Ben Stokes in the middle order and send Josh Butler back up there and ask him to play his natural game. But yeah, it's going to be a very exciting clash because Mumbai Indians are looking unstoppable, and for the Rajasthan Royals, it's a case of needing to win every single game. So yeah, it's going to be a very very big battle.
Person, I feel Rajasthan Royals inconsistency has hurt them very much. Also, Captain Smith's form will be under question, right? He's not made anything which is worth this IPL 2020.
Yeah, he hasn't looked great. There's no doubt about it. Him and Sanju Samson haven't been in form
But
after.
he showed
Um,
some form in the last match, but got out when he was about to unleash the bowling. But yes, talking about Smith.
Yeah, again, I mean, Smith hasn't looked great. He's looked a little flashy, but in the last two games, he did start off well, although he couldn't put up a very big knock. And as a captain, he'll really want to step up. And let's not forget, he obviously comes in at the number 4 position. He tried opening, he tried coming in at 3, he came in 5 also, but again, that whole musical chairs in that batting order isn't really working, and it's just that in the last two games they've managed to somehow slot into positions. That's something that has one thing that's actually been good for them, given that Stokes and Uthappa are opening, and then they've got Sanju Samson, and then Smith, and then Butler. So that is something that's working for them. And I mean, obviously the move to promote Ben Stokes isn't working, but the whole point of giving players their roles and giving them assurity that they'll play in that position is something that's important, and they are sticking to it, which is good. But yes, Steve Smith definitely needs to up his performances. And against the Mumbai Indians, they're a quality bowling unit. Trent Bolt picked up Man of the Match award in the last game they played against CSK. So the bowling unit's looking very, very solid. And the Rajasthan Royals will need to put in a very, very good performance. And a lot of the scoring will depend on Steve Smith and Josh Butler again.
Well, as you said, time for Rajasthan Royals big names to come, step up and fire. So quickly take us through your Mumbai Indians heavy fantasy team. I hope I've judged it right. Hmm?
Yeah, it's not exactly Mumbai Indians heavy.
Oh,
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of balance here. I think we're going 6-5 in
wow.
favor of the Rajasthan Royals. In fact,
Nice.
um, yeah, it's a
Again,
very
Jofra Archer. Wow.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
look, Archer's been fantastic, right? And it's hard to make such a guess, but again, you might just he's got guys like David Warner out, and he's troubled so many quality batsmen over the whole duration of the IPL, and you can really back him. But yeah, look, we've got three wicket keepers: Dickok, Samson, and Butler. Again, I mentioned that they might want to try Butler at the top, although he's been scoring runs in the middle. The move to promote Ben Stokes hasn't really worked for them, and they might want to go back to something that served them well. Although you never know, because they will want to sort of keep that momentum going in terms of something they've got right at least. But Quinton de Kock is looking in fantastic form, and he's looking like $1 million at the top of the order. Suryakumar Yadav, Steve Smith, Uthappa and Steve Smith. Uthappa opening the batting finally in the last two games. First match he got 40 out against RCB. Last match he didn't do too well. But these two will be very, very crucial to their chances, because you spoke about how Steve Smith needs to get back into form, and he certainly needs to, because the Rajasthan Royals are facing a must-win situation, and they definitely need to put up a good show. And Suryakumar Yadav again. He's looked good. He's coming at that number 3 position and scoring a whole lot of runs for the Mumbai Indians, so that will be crucial. And Kyron Pollard, last match he came in as captain and everything worked out for him. There was nothing that he did wrong, and he'll be taking confidence from that if Rohit Sharma isn't fit for this game again. But yeah, he's someone who also bowls a bit and bats in a crucial position, so he's guaranteed points. And Rahul Tewatia, I think everyone will have him in their side now. He's pretty much like an all-rounder who's an important part of fantasy sides with his economical bowling, which is good to see, and his big hits as well. And as for the bowlers, Rahul Chahar hasn't done too well. He hasn't been too consistent, hasn't picked up too many wickets, but he has those variations. He bowls in crucial stages of the match, and he can be if because the Rajasthan Royals are obviously right. They have a lot of right-handers in the unit with Uthappa, Butler, Samson, Steve Smith, and so many right-handers. So Rahul Chahar will be important to take the ball away. Trent Bolt, man of the match performance in the last game against CSK. So he'll look to continue from where he left off and do well. And of course, Archer. Look, he's picked as captain because he's had that dominating impact. He is among the top 3 wicket takers in the tournament, and even if he gets 1 or 2 early wickets, then it could peg MI on the back foot. So Good side, good to see a change that there's no Mumbai Indians heavy unit, but
Yeah, I am not able to find Boom Boom Bumrah in your fantasy team. He's definitely in my fantasy team.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's very hard to pick all the players, and so you just need to hope that the players who you pick and the players who you're backing to do well will actually perform. But I mean, Josh Butler obviously picked as vice captain because he's scoring. He scored an important half century in a game that they were pretty much losing. So it's very important to pick players who you think will perform. And the top six that you see, the three batsmen and the three wicket keepers, are all guys who bat in the top order, except Butler. Obviously, now he's batting in the middle order. But again, given that they're assured to bat, and so that's the reason we've gone with all six.
So prediction for today's second game, Prasin.
It's hard to look past Mumbai Indians, honestly, because they are in such amazing form and they look a very, very complete side. So I really can't look past the Mumbai Indians, although the Rajasthan Royals are looking promising. They have a good side with Ben Stokes back. They have that confidence, but I really feel the Mumbai Indians are a complete unit, and it'll be hard for the Rajasthan Royals to get past them today.
Well, the expert has predicted that it's gonna be RCB and Mumbai Indians for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. The match is about to begin in a while. Enjoy the match, enjoy the festivities, all of you. Once again, happy Dashera, and we will meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. Till then, stay safe, enjoy the game, have a happy Sunday. Bye bye. Take care, all of you.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Prasan.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much. Bye
Bye.
bye.
See you.